It's Ron Reader Digs the Universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe. And tonight, taxing the churches. The other day, I read about how Calvary Chapel Church in Chattanooga, Tennessee has put its tax-exempt status in jeopardy by hosting several Republicans at a candidate forum where one of the church's ministers urged members to vote for the candidates. Turns out this has been happening more frequently in recent years. You know, MAGA churches daring the IRS to revoke their 501(c) nonprofit status by engaging blatantly in electoral politics. What's going on with all this? I mean, the church's motivations are pretty clear, I think. Just another example of MAGA rolling over everything it perceives as being in its way. What I'm talking about is context. Why don't we tax the churches? Why are churches forbidden from participating in electoral politics? And what do these two ideas even have to do with each other? In 1954, Congress passed what's known as the Johnson Amendment. The law automatically classifies churches as non-profit organizations, thereby exempting them from federal income taxes. Good deal, right? Well, maybe not. This kind of organization, the 501(c), all of them, religious and secular alike, are forbidden from supporting any candidate from any office ever. Now, whether you think this prohibition is good or bad, you got to understand that it's not nearly as onerous as it might appear to be at first glance. For starters, it's rarely enforced. The only time a church in this country ever lost its 501(c) status was in the 90s because of some anti-Clinton ads. Blatant stuff, much more so than, say, a line in a sermon or a remark at coffee with the pastor or a conversation out in the parking lot after services. A church has to be really in your face with its politics before the IRS even thinks about acting. And really, it's a lot more about our electoral system than any desire to keep churches out of politics. Indeed, churches are necessarily political by their very nature, because morality itself, an enormous part of religion, is inherently political. Just look at the cultural debate about gay marriage as an example. For that matter, religious people can and do start political action committees. Think Focus on the Family or the Moral Majority. It's just that religious PACs are subject to the same spinning rules and regulations that secular PACs follow. So no one is trying to keep religion out of politics. The Johnson Amendment is a good compromise. It acknowledges that churches are charitable groups, that they play important roles in their communities. It acknowledges that tax law can be used by governments unscrupulously to oppress disfavored religious groups. But it also acknowledges the role that money plays in our electoral processes. Churches, unburdened by tax, are potential cash machines for candidates, and such money must be regulated for the integrity of our elections. Freedom is complicated, and so is democracy. Balancing the two isn't always gonna be easy, because in order for us to have freedom overall, individual freedom, small group freedom, it can't be absolute. And that's why churches can't engage in partisan politics when they are tax exempt. It's for the stability of the overall system. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe.